What up, peeps? Ergy here, Momo here. So I'm getting close to ending 6 weeks of quarantine and 6 weeks of the studio being closed. And I got up early this morning to activate my parasympathetic nervous system. Before I do anything, I've been very mindful to follow certain procedures in a day to make sure that I take care of self. And I was doing breath work this morning and struggling with ego, because ego kicks in. Ego does. And especially, I know for me, I've gone 48 years and I'm positive that I've never stopped. I'm positive I'm that person that has gone on and on and on. No matter what has happened, I've never taken a moment really to stop and honor anything that I've gone through or experienced. May it be, whether it be a breakup or an ending of anything, or gone through something physically, emotionally, spiritually. I just push through everything. Okay, I gotta get up, I gotta keep going. There's no, that was me putting me at the bottom of the list, because if I had gone through something or experienced something, a loss, or feel hurt or betrayal or whatever it was, I just got up and kept going. And I've done that looking back, since I was a little kid, it's just go, get knocked down, get up, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And for the first time in my life, and not by choice, which is an interesting thing, right? Because I'm constantly telling people and guiding people and reminding people the importance of slowing down and taking breath. And I've done things like that, but this is the first time ever in my life that I've completely been at a standstill. Like, no need to rush to get to work. No need, I can't deal with this right now. I gotta go and I gotta teach and I gotta go inspire and I gotta go do this and I gotta... 18 years I've been doing that. And even before those 30 years before that, it was whatever it is, what was going on. But for right now, I'm going to refer to the last 18 years of my life. Getting up every day and on the go, no matter what I was going through, it's go, 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 go. And I was thinking back, like when I opened up the gym almost 3 years ago. 2 weeks into that, I had a big breakup. 2 or 3 weeks into that, I had a big breakup right after the grand opening. And it was a huge shift in my life. And I not honoring that and not honoring what I needed, what I maybe necessarily needed, or that I even understood what I needed. And I know now that I struggle with understanding me being alone in quiet time with nothing the fuck to do. It's a struggle. It's a struggle because I have a passion and a purpose that drives it's a very real thing in my being, in my cells. It's something that... So I'm glad I was forced here, because I would have never been here. I would have never taken myself here to deal with what I've been dealing with for the last 6 weeks. What I know we've all been dealing with at some level, because I want to acknowledge that. I know that because, I find it not necessary that when someone says, oh my God, I'm going through this at this moment in time, for someone's response to be, well, everybody's going through it. No, that's not so. We're all going through something, yes. And that's a beautiful thing, that we're all going through something at the same time, which is great, because life is at a pause and we can deal with what we're dealing with. We're all dealing with something very different. You can have the extreme of someone that has had no effect at all, in the sense of personally as an individual, nothing. They're still working, there's no change in their income, there's no change in their routine, whatever that is, and they have a sense of guilt because they're not really affected, whoever that person is. And then there's people who are being overworked now and are overwhelmed now. I have no idea what any of those two people feel. And then there's everything in between, to the person who's at home stuck with an abusive parent getting the shit beat out of them every day, to those that don't have any money or here illegally. So there's extremes of everybody's feeling something at some level, or knowing someone is going through something, but no one's feeling the same thing. No one. Of what they're going through personally. So I acknowledge that we're all going through something, and I think it's a beautiful thing that we're all experiencing that. So I'm grateful for that. I have personally never been this still in my life, and it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge to continue to do my passion and my purpose, looking completely different than what I've understood for the last 18 years. Completely different. And staying mindful and open-minded during this time that I am feeling a bunch of different emotions, when it comes to ergy, when it comes to me as an individual, that I've never stopped in 48 years, and all the different things that I'm reflecting on and feeling and experiencing, and allowing myself to feel that, and not without judgment, which is the most important thing. And it's something that I wrestle with, to be judgment of it, or to go through the process. What's right or wrong here? There is no right or wrong. I have to connect with what I feel and what makes sense to me, with everything, with no matter what I'm feeling during this time. I'm trying, and I'm struggling with it. When I say trying, because I don't succeed every day. I don't. There's days that I get up and I gotta just start walking, and I'll end up walking 7-8 hours at a time, or taking off on my bike for about 7 or 8 hours at a time, because I need to deal with myself, and I'm grateful for it. And it's been one of the most difficult, I'm gonna use it as the analogy of a race that I've ever done in my life. And I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm not saying, oh my God, this is so devastating, but this is an accumulation of 48 years of things that I've shoved underneath the rug. How many times have I said, like, when you shove something underneath the rug, eventually it becomes this big pile, and you trip, and I have tripped in these last 6 weeks, coming to the end of 6 weeks. On Tuesday will be the completing 6 weeks. I've tripped along some of the stuff that I've shoved underneath the rug, and I've had to pull those out and look at them, and giving them the proper, honoring them properly, acknowledging it properly, and truly dealing with it with the best way that I can at the moment that I'm in, and the enlightenment that I'm in, and the awareness and the space that I'm sharing with myself, because it's a space that I'm sharing for the first time with myself. And it's been it's been difficult and trying for me, and I have days that I feel down, and I have days that I have anxiety, because those things don't go away. They're there. It's just, how do we manage them? How do we use those moments and validate what we're feeling, and then allow ourselves to feel it, and then move on from it without judgment? I think that's been one of the biggest things that I'm applying, is not allowing myself to judge myself for what I'm feeling, and allowing myself to feel it and move on from it, to allow myself to question my purpose and my passion, and then the next day feel like, okay, I know exactly what my passion and my purpose is and what direction I'm going, and allowing myself to shift, because the future is unknown right now, and as scary as that is, it's so exciting too. I've even questioned, like, do I want to continue in this fitness? Do I want to continue? And I know that I do, and it's been great that I've questioned myself there, that I've allowed myself to ask myself that question, where I think I know, not that I think, I know in the past that I haven't. It's like, this is my passion, my purpose, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I've never questioned it or allowed myself to question it, because I've created a great business, I've created a family, I've done a lot of growth and healing through this industry, in this industry of 18 years. It's defined me in many ways, you know. So it can be scary. Fear does creep in, and I have to remind myself that fear is a liar, because, you know, I know that I do want to continue. I love what I'm doing, and that's good that I'm making the choice, because when I got into this business, I had no choice. Like, I knew I wanted to get in it because of my inability to be able to get a job behind it, for not just the educational aspect, but for my mind and my hyperness and the way that I am. I found something that I could do and I could get paid for, and it was okay to behave the way and act the way that I am, and express the way that I express. It was an industry that embraced me, that took me in and allowed me to blossom to my full potential, irrelevant to my background, anything. It totally accepted me, with a million flaws in it, and I've had my ups and downs in the business, but for the most part, it's been the healthiest relationship I've ever had, in so many ways. The longest one I've had, that's reaped so much. I've reaped. It's been very fruitful. It's been something that's provided so much for me. It's blossomed every year, and definitely provided me with so much. And I'm choosing that I choose it today, and that's great, because this time has allowed me to make that decision, because, you know, something gets ripped away from you as quickly as this got ripped away from me. You know, going in a direction I felt that was going, you know, upward, because not only am I providing the physical, the changes that people were seeking in themselves. I had the privilege and honor for all those that chose me to walk in through my door to change them physically. I know that they were also walking in there because of what I was providing for them, on the emotional aspect and the mindfulness of it, and just taking off with all that, starting all that aspect of the business, and it just being it's difficult, and it's difficult to get up every day and stay positive and stay motivated and stay focused on the vision that I had. These 6 weeks have allowed me to realize that, yeah, this is the path that I want to take. And I also realize that I don't care how that looks like. You know, that I'm truly letting go of 5782 Commerce Lane and all that within there, knowing that I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, no matter where I'm at, no matter how it looks like. Who I am is here and here. You know, I had Kim send me something that reminds me of that, because I know I preach that all the time, that home is you. It's not a place or a situation, right? Or it's us. It's what's in here and in here. And Kim sent me that yesterday, like, I think at the very perfect timing. It's been a tough week for me. You know, wrapping my hands around that, this is 6 weeks. And even though part of me knew on March 16th that I was closing my doors and that it was probably going to be for good, there still was a little glimmer of hope that, this is going to be 2 weeks. And, you know, every day that goes by, it's like, where is this going? Where is this going? And I have to walk away from that and not know where it's going. It's fine. It's overwhelming, it's scary. It can be consuming. And I make an effort every day to not allow myself to get consumed or defined by this moment. So I know there's an end to this and that everything's momentary. It's just, this is what you do feel in the middle of it. I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm grateful for this moment, allowing the opportunity for me to sit still that I've never done in 48 years. So those are one of the things I'm so grateful for, that I've been forced here. I've been forced to sit still. I've been forced because I've never stopped in 40 years. Never. I've been on the go. Something happens, I move on to the next. Okay, this is happening in my life, and I've had this devastation, this horrible thing that's happened. I don't stop for a minute. I have all this other stuff going on, and I can't stop, and I can't. And yeah, all that stuff was going on, but I also never put myself first. Even there, like it's crazy. Like I do honor myself, and I put myself first. But I realized in this process that I've never stopped, because that was another place that I wasn't putting myself first, that I needed to sit still, you know, and really look at the things that I had swept underneath the rug. I say it all the time, you sweep underneath the rug and you get this huge thing, and one day you're gonna trip on it. Well, I've done a couple trippings in these last week. No, not a couple, a few trippings on stuff that I had swept underneath the rug. Well, now I took the time to pull that from underneath the rug, look at it, honor it, respect it, validate everything that I was going through at that moment, and then that pile is not there anymore, and I'm grateful for that. And it's been difficult to do that as well. So life is a living mirage. It is, and what we think and what we speak, we create into our existence. And these are the moments that we're being I don't want to use the word tested, because tested is not the right word. These are the moments that we're being put in a position to utilize the tool sets that we have, right? To apply the faith that we have and put it into play. It's like having that emergency kick, like that defibrillator that I had inside the studio, right? Never got to use it, thank God, in 2.5 years. But it's like we have something there. Are you sure you know how to use it? I never had to use a defibrillator. I mean, I think I know how to use a defibrillator, and I remember taking the course, and but do I really know how to use that? Do I really know how to apply that? And this has been that moment. Like I'm applying all my tool sets right now. I've emptied out my toolbox, and I've laid out all my tools on top of the table. I've laid it out on the floor, and I've utilized a lot of the tools, and there's a lot of tools that don't serve me, that can work against me, that I've gathered, and I put them back inside the toolbox and put that toolbox away. Because I know there's some stuff in my toolbox and some tool sets that I have that can actually harm me right now at this moment in time. So it's an effort that I have to make every day. It's a choice that I have to make every day. There's been days that I have to make it every minute to stay there, to stay in the positive, to remind myself and not allow my ego to consume me, not allow myself to get caught up on the worryiness, to worry, because that's only gonna make me dark. I'm gonna be in depression, because I'm gonna be focused on instead of like dealing with the shit that I swept underneath the rug, I would have been depressed about that and judging myself about that, and worrying about the future, and I have no control about that. None. It's being present and truly living present, and not talking that and living that. It's a challenge, and I'm grateful that I'm here. As difficult as this is, and I'm struggling, I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that I gotta close energy doors, and I'm grateful that I'm having to look at my purpose and passion. And even though because I was, man, I just had implemented mindfulness into this, and this was going in a direction, and it got ripped from me. It's like, I got up one morning not knowing that evening my life as I knew it, majority of it, because this has consumed for the last 18 years a good 65 to 70% of my life. And everything got swept from me, after all the money I put into it, the sweat and tears, my hands into it, because I was part of digging the holes, putting the floor down, painting. I designed the racks, putting the AC system up, my vision of the 30-30, and I seen it birth. Imagine it was here. I saw it, and it's ripped. And that's how I know this is my passion and purpose, because even in my darkest moments in these last going on 6 weeks, I'm choosing to still do this, irrelevant to how it looks like, irrelevant to 5782 Commerce Lane. I know I choose this, and I trust and I believe, and I'm also okay and honor the fact and allow myself, without judgment, to feel the moments that I feel in darkness. And I allow myself that fear comes up, I acknowledge it, and I breathe into it, and I remind myself that life is a living mirage, that what we think and what we speak, we create into existence. And right now, all I'm focused on is to stay positive, to stay motivated, to continue to do this in this platform. And I'm not worried about what's gonna happen with the fitness part of it and all that, because this is what I can control. This is what the only moment that I can have any control of is here, is being present, honoring anything that comes up, and staying positive and focused on me. And what do I need today? And what does I need to look like for me today, so I can be the best version for Amanda and Luna, for my Patty, for our community, for our tribe. So, the sun has come up from behind. I'm doing this video, and I'm not sure when I'm gonna post it. It's when I feel to post it. But to know that we have to love and respect ourselves at all times. We have to honor ourselves at all times, when we're feeling down low and when we're feeling high as a kite. It's all okay. There's no right or wrong at this moment. This is free of judgment, and to remember that you're not alone too, that we have to lean on each other, remind each other, and most importantly, respect the process. Believe in the power and in the guidance. And that we all have this moment to really reflect, and even if you write it down, I'm a fan of writing down the pros and the cons, or writing down, okay, right now I'm away from this situation or this person. How do I feel? Do I feel like I can't wait to be next to that person, or go back to that job, or go back to that situation? Or do I feel relieved, and I feel a sense of peace, and I don't have anxiety, and I'm not tolerating, I don't feel like I'm tolerating it? Those are things that you need to evaluate, and that before life gets kicking back in and everything starts to kick back in full force, and we're rushing, and there's not enough time in a day, because now I know that there's so much time in a day. Before we're rushing back to life, make sure what it is that you're ready, that you're so eager to rush back to. Really evaluate that, because I know that as humans we tend to complain and to bitch about stuff, and yet we do nothing to change that. Even though there's a million solutions out there, we still choose to stay in the known, even if it's misery, even if it makes us feel like shit. We don't care. Right now, you have the opportunity to change all those things that just don't make sense for you, that just don't add up for you in your mind, that just don't allow you to live in your full potential, in your greatness. If you're living small anywhere in your life, I invite you and I encourage you to stand up tall, because life is but a blink of an eye, and we're meant to live great and grand. That isn't just for a chosen few. It's meant for us all. It's just we don't realize that. So remember that I love you, that I see you, that we see you, see yourself, and most importantly, go out there and be yourself. I love you.